including the latest of the 6 sides to win it, France, back in 1998. Now that might be a little bit of a push for this Canadian side, but the hosts come into this with real belief, including the latest of the 6 in 17 games. Bosnia and Herzegovina, well, they arrive with a very different kind of story, but one every bit as compelling. They are surprise qualifiers, and when Barbarez took over in 2024, this did not look like a straightforward road. Before this campaign, Bosnia had managed 4 wins across their previous 19 matches over 2 qualification cycles, but through the chaos, the emotion, and at times irrational intensity, they found a way through. Wales beaten, Italy beaten, 2 dramatic playoff games, and with it, Bosnia reached the main event for the second time in their history, sparking celebrations in Sarajevo, with more than 100,000 people taking to the streets. Marsh has been in charge since 2024 and has captured Canadian hearts by taking the team to semi-finals at major international tournaments, building a side around what has been a consistent and persistent 4-4-2, pressing from the front, pace out wide, in a defensive unit that's kept 10 clean sheets in the last 15 games. And for Canada, well, they are without Alphonso Davies, who couldn't quite get fit enough for the opening day. So Marsh has had to look elsewhere in his squad to replace that missing quality. But he's a creature of habit and, as expected, starts with that 4-4-2 formation and names his first 11 of the tournament to make history, with Crepau getting the nod ahead of Inter Miami goalkeeper St. Clair in the net. And what a moment it is for Crepau as well. Missed out in the 2022 competition following a leg break in the MLS Cup final, making what was a winning save. A back four of Johnson, Defugro, who at one stage had more international team appearances than club, Cornelius and Laie, the final 2 at the back. A midfield forward consistent as Buchanan, Eustakau, who is the heartbeat of Jesse Marsh's side, Kone and Miller, with Canada top scorer Jonathan David with 13 goals to his name since Jesse Marsh came in, partnered with Nigerian-born Oluwase up front. Barbarez is a story in himself for Bosnia, a former national team captain who has been waiting in the wings for his chance at the job. He didn't take another football role in the meantime, instead playing poker and enjoying retirement before the call finally came, and when it did, he made an immediate impact. He gave 16 debuts to players in his first year and building a side around aggressive defending, direct football and quick transitions. It took a while for them to really get going on the pitch, but Bosnia won 7 and drew 2 and lost just once in their qualifying group. This is not a side that is here just to admire the stage. They are here to attack it. And Barbarez wants a positive start and an early one as well, as he also names his side in a 4-4-2 formation with Vasily in goal, whose father was in the Croatian side back in the 98 and 2002 competitions. Kolasinac, Muharmovic, Katic and Dedic make up the back line. Memic, Tahirovic, Basic and Bajrek Tavic, who was raised in Wisconsin in the USA, with Demirovic and Lukic, the front 2, who surprisingly start ahead of a 148 appearance frontman Dzeko, who could only find the bench for the pre-tournament friendly games that Bosnia did play, so maybe they are looking for the long run, but he's certainly chasing down more goals and aiming for his 150th appearance during this competition. The referee is Argentinian Facundo Tello, a referee of the last 2 tournaments and once gave 10 red cards in the 2022 Argentinian Cup final. He's assisted by fellow compatriots on the lines, Juan Pablo Berletti and Gabriel Shade. Fourth official is Saudi Khalid Al Turais, and VAR is Argentinian Herman Masrelango. And we are moments away from kick-off. Dzeko waiting on the bench and hopefully waiting for his chance to come on, but normally a player of his calibre has to come on. It's not going right for the side that is attacking. Canada, well, they're going to try and come out of the blocks here, absolutely firing. There is no margin for error. There is no forgiveness in this competition. Bosnia got here the hardest way possible through those 2 playoff games. Canada have been waiting for this day since it was announced that they were hosts back in 2018. The huddles going on in the pitch for both sides, the nerves jangling on the pitch and also in the stands of what a beautiful stadium it is here in Toronto. The two stands on the north and south side have been built up to add an extra fair few 15,000 to the capacity here. Not quite a sellout because of resellers who have had to lower the prices over the last 24 hours or so due to tickets not being sold, which is a story of the competition, how it has been handled in the weeks and months leading up to it. But for now, the football will do the talking, and the host Canada get us underway. They're in their all-red strip, going from right to left, attacking what is a wall of red away to our left-hand side. Bosnia, as you will have surmised, are going from left to right in this first half in their all-white strip as well. And Canada inside the opening 30 seconds have an opportunity for an attacking throw-in down this left-hand channel. It's going to be whipped in by Liam Miller, who's had once played for Charlton. He's also been working as an electrician on Game of Thrones and other TV shows like Peaky Blinders as well. And it's a good ball in, but it's dealt with by Bosnia, and only just out towards this near side as it trickles out for the first corner kick of the evening for Canada. The sun's still beating down here. It's 26 degrees. The Canadians will be hoping that it continues to heat up on the pitch as well as the Argentinian referee makes his way over. They just have a brief chat with the gaggle of players inside the 6-yard box. There's 4 Canadians inside that 6-yard box. The corner comes in low towards the near side. It's not quite dealt with on this occasion by Bosnia, just trying to scramble the ball away. And on the second attempt, clear it towards the halfway line, which is met by Maxime Crepau in the goal. As we said, what a moment it is for the Orlando City goalkeeper. He missed the 2022 after a late break in that MLS Cup final. Getting his first touch as the ball goes across towards the left-hand side as Bosnia will win a free kick inside Canadian territory, a couple of yards off the far touchline to inside the opening 2 minutes. Both sides just trying to find themselves in behind the back lines, but the defensive units of what is a very traditional 4-4-2 from both of these two coaches. It's going to be a tactical affair this evening, but it's certainly going to be an exciting one as well. We had the pre-game build-up as all three host nations are having their own opening ceremonies. Michael Bublé is the singer here, not quite the same as Shakira. He's come out just before Christmas as the long ball comes from the free kick towards the far side of the box. It's cushioned down towards the edge of the area, and the shot that came in from Memic couldn't quite keep it down, but it was a good opportunity for Bosnia. It was a lovely whip ball from the left-hand side towards the far right-hand side of the box, knocked down into the edge of the 6-yard box. Canada could only push it towards the edge of the penalty area, and there was Memic, who was coming onto it on the run, but just couldn't quite keep his shot down and over the top of the bar, which the power would have been delighted to see. Canada just about scrambling to win the ball back 10 yards off the edge of their own penalty area, trying to switch it across towards the right-hand side, but dealt with comfortably by Dedic, who just knocks it down to his right-hand side to Muherovic, who takes no real chances there. The Sassuolo centre-half speaks 5 languages himself. He's generally calm on the ball, but on that occasion just tries to get it away. Canada now come down the right-hand side instead as the whip cross towards the edge of the area isn't the best as it's cleared out by Bajaric Tadovic. Now for a thrown over on the far side. 3.5 minutes then gone. Canada 0, Bosnia and Herzegovina 0. Canada currently ranked 30th in the world rankings. They've dropped down from their best of 26th, which was the back end of last year, but that is because they haven't had to play any qualification games, but it's certainly better than where they were back in 2014, as like a foul went in on the Bosnian man over on the far side of the pitch. Lukic just got in behind the Canadian back line, took a slight touch on his ankles, but the referee waves it away as it goes out for a goal kick, and just a little push that came in the back from there, Fuggerol. The long ball comes from the goal kick, and it's straight out of play, and Essimar showing that he's still got a fine touch inside the dugout, just lays that one down towards the near side, but the ball still is on the pitch and is brought back in, but a free kick goes Bosnia's way. A couple of free kicks inside the opening 5 minutes of this contest. Bosnia just getting themselves between man and ball, putting a bit of pressure on this Canadian back line. They certainly know how good Canada have been defensively. 10 clean sheets in the last 15 games. Bosnia don't carry plenty of momentum from their playoff campaign. The two warm-up games for Bosnia both ended in draws against North Macedonia and Panama, as the free kick comes in from this near side, but it's met over on the far side of the box by Lukic, but he couldn't do more than just make contact on that Basic cross. And Bosnia themselves sit 64th in the world, their best coming 13 years ago when they qualified for Brazil in 2014, when they sat 13th in the world rankings. Their worst was just after the separation of Yugoslavia. A couple of years after, in 1996, they found themselves 173rd. Bosnia have been just a nation since the split of Yugoslavia back in 1992. Yugoslavia themselves, they were a force at one point. 4 quarter-finals, 2 semi-finals as well in this competition over the years. The 2 semi-finals coming in the first iteration back in Uruguay, 1930 and 1962. Well, Bosnia, as their own nation, in just their second tournament appearances, they'll have another thrown on this near side as Tedić just leaves the ball. The referees have plenty of new powers for this World Cup. These competitions tend to bring out a couple of rule changes. Kalina, who's in charge of world referees, is trying to change tournaments. No time wasting. They'll have another thrown on this near. Goes on in this version of the competition. 4 years ago, they were just adding every minute to the game, where they averaged about 24 minutes added on in the group stages because of various time wasting that goes on. Well, in this tournament, it's a 5-second countdown that the referees can introduce if they feel a side is delaying. Substitutes must leave the pitch as well inside 10 seconds. Otherwise, the player coming on will have to wait a further 60 seconds. And there's also new rules around physios coming on, a 1-minute gap. Players can also be sent off for covering their mouths, which is certainly something that needs to go out of the game. They can also be sent off now for leaving the field in protest after the African tournament at the start of this year, back in the last year, which was pure controversy in the final. New rules have been brought in. VAR can also come in and check corners, second yellow cards, attacking fouls before a ball's come into play, and mistaken identity. So lots for referees and VAR to consider, and the Argentinians in charge of this contest will certainly be hoping that they don't have too much controversy. Canada on the ball, just trying to send it down the right-hand channel, and it's almost kept in on the far side. In fact, it is kept in ever so well by Buchanan. It looked like he was just outstretching, but on this occasion, then the linesman's flag has gone up after excellent work by Kolasinac on that left-hand side of the defence. Tends to play. And on the right, the captain for Bosnia. He shuffled into that left-back role. This game has the armband with no Dzeko on the pitch. A long throw just goes down the line, and Bosnia will just make their way up that left-hand channel of the Canadian. Half over on the far side of the pitch as the referee just brings it back towards the halfway line. Then 9 minutes gone in this game, nothing really to shout about. The best opportunity coming for Memic, just coming onto the ball on the full after a knockdown towards the edge of the area for Bosnia, but nothing really for Canada apart from that opening 30-second spell. And they won themselves a corner as they have the ball again inside their own half, breaking into the Bosnia half on this near left-hand side. A nice little pass by Miller, just trying to find the run of Laia, who just continued down the left-hand side, but it couldn't quite find the pass and goes out for a throw. Laia will come back himself to take this, the man who plays at this ground on a week-by-week basis for Toronto. He's an all-edge Toronto fullback. He thrives in hostile games. He wins fouls. He put in good low crosses as well. Not too sure many Canadians will disagree that he was one of the best players for the national team in 2025. As another throws one down this near left-hand side. Miller winds up the long throw. This time it is dealt with by Bosnia and cleared out towards the halfway line. And that's that long throw that caused him a little bit of trouble inside the opening 60 seconds on this occasion. Managing to deal with it ever so well, but a beautiful ball by Crepau in towards Miller, who just chests it down. Lays it down to his right-hand side in towards Eustachiou. Continues his run forward. I've been practicing that name all afternoon, I will tell you. I got it nailed on, and then as soon as the game starts, you start to question your own pronunciation. And who would have thought in the game between Canada and Bosnia it would be a Canadian player that stumps you more than anything else. And a loose pass is picked up by Bosnia on the left-hand side, driving into the Canada half, and then the tackle comes in and clears out the Bosnian. And it's Johnson who will be the first man into the referee's book. They're protesting a little bit more, all the Bosnians, with Kolasinac asking for a potential red from the referee, but I think he'll be lucky if there is an overturning there. He's still protesting, the Bosnian referee. Sorry, the Bosnian player to the Argentinian referee, who comes over, but it was Paul in the middle from Oluwase. Just gives the ball away in towards Memic, who was just charging down that left-hand side. He just knocked the ball in front of him, had plenty of space, and Johnson just comes across the Celtic fullback and just takes him out. He's a football-mad leader. He wakes up in R4 here in British Columbia for Premier League games. He's loved at Celtic for his tackles and his attitude, but I'm not too sure if the Canadian fans will be too happy with that challenge or not. He almost came off his feet, and that really is a lapse in concentration. He knew exactly what he was doing. He had to stop the Bosnian attack some way. If anything, you could say he's taken one for the team. But he was probably half a stud or so off the ground from that potentially being worse, as Memic is back to his feet, and the free kick can now be taken in towards the penalty spot, and it's aimed at Lukic once again, but couldn't quite get more onto the balls. It trickles in towards Crepau's hands down the middle of the goal, and it's meat and drink for a goalkeeper of his calibre. Got the nod ahead of Sinclair, who has been starting far more games over recent months, including in the major tournaments that Canada have been over the last 12 to 18 months or so. But Crepau getting the nod ahead of Sinclair for this one. They both played 45 minutes in their final warm-up game before the start of this competition. They've just gone 18 minutes into this game. It's 5:15 local time here. The third game of this 104-game competition. Plenty more games coming up. The USA and Paraguay play 4 hours after this game finishes in California. The final of the three hosts, and the one that has been making the most noise before this competition started. Remember that you can watch the game on your local network broadcasters wherever you are in the world. Whether it's day, morning or night, well, this morning and day are the same thing as Bosnia. Why get the pass over on the far side and play it out for a throw in halfway inside their own half. Canada take it quickly, try and stretch themselves down the right hand side as the cross comes in, and it's played out for a corner kick by Katic. Just did enough to get himself back under pressure. Bosnia found themselves in the makers of their own downfall for a moment or so. Lazy to get themselves back. Canada quick to take the throw down that right hand channel, and it was almost a beautiful ball back into the middle, looking for the run of Kone. Jonathan David was there just behind him as well. The man who's got 13 goals to his name since Jesse Marsh took over. As Canada have the corner from the far side. It's taken short down the byline towards the edge of the area. Play back towards the corner taker and shipped in towards the box. Couldn't quite be headed in the right direction by Oluwase. Bosnia able to just about clear the lines, and in doing so, play it off the referee, who will just stop the ball and the game. as he brings it back and holds his hand up from the clearance, and they had to find something under Jesse Marsh did this side. Alphonso Davies is not in the starting 11 for this one. It was something that was expected over the last couple of weeks or so. The bigger decision was who played ahead of him, but he has only played in 12 of the 30 games that Marsh has taken charge of. So Canada have to find a way to grow without their superstar, the Bayern Munich midfielder. Scored Canada's first finals goal in 2022. There's 2 goals they got in that competition, the only 2 they've got in their 2 campaigns they have been involved in. Lost all 6 games that they've played in, including 1-0 in their opening games in both of those tournaments. 1-0 to France in 1986 and 1-0 to Belgium in 2022. They have the ball 5 yards inside the Bosnia half towards the far side of the pitch. Brought back in towards the centre circle, linking in with Kone. Finds Miller. And Ustad on this left-hand side. Continues the ball in towards Miller once more. Got a little bit of space to try and attack into. He's got one man to try and beat in Bajrak Tedevic, and he just about gets ahead of him and whips the ball towards the far side of the box, but in hope more than an expectation with that cross. But it's picked up once again by Johnson, who made the foul moments ago. He's got ball in, and then the first shot from the edge of the area from Canada straight in towards Vasily in the goal. It was Jonathan David who came on to the ball, but it was Johnston, the man who put a lovely ball in towards the box, not quite dealt with by Dedic. On the right-hand side of the penalty area, and it fell kindly back in towards Jonathan David, who normally with that trusty left boot will tuck it away into the bottom corner. But on that occasion, straight at Vasily, who got down ever so well after being relatively quiet inside the goal for the opening 17 minutes. Canada have a free kick just inside their own half, inside the centre circle. So an opportunity for both sides early on. The better they're really coming for Canada. He tends to do better on the ball there. David and Jesse Marsh on this near side. Going apoplectic that didn't nestle in the back of the net. The Canadians were waiting in expectation as a long ball comes to Miller, but just over his head down this near left-hand channel as Dedic will make his way across to take a throw in deep inside Bosnian territory. And the one thing that these two sides are a little bit more grateful for is that Group B gives both teams a real opportunity, but no easy route. Canada are the co-hosts here. Bosnia came through European players. Qatar arrived with recent host nation experience, and Switzerland bring that tournament know-how and consistency. And with 3 teams potentially going through, 8 of 12 third-place finishers in the groups will go through to the next round. So the risk to sides like Germany a few years ago going out to South Korea at the group stage is far more less likely. As down the right-hand side, Memic just tries to stretch his legs, but it's good defensive work on this near left-hand side once again this time by Cornelius, who just gets himself across and plays off the Bosnian man. Still in the possession for Canada, trying to stretch the legs down the left-hand side, but the pass in towards Oluwaseyi not quite found him. It has now found its way, though, in towards Laia, trying to drive towards the left corner of the penalty area, but just trying to do too much on his own. Loses out to the ball, and then a free kick is won by Bajrak Tedevic. Zeustat Keo coming across, the Canadian captain, just taking his man out and once again just stopping that Bosnian counter-attack, which they will try time and time again throughout this competition. They're based down in Salt Lake City in the USA. Bosnia, Canada, they're over on the west coast in Vancouver. But here in Toronto, beautiful city, It links up the Niagara Falls alongside Boston on the other side of the divide between the two host nations. It's a global melting pot. This is this city. Over 250 ethnicities, 170 languages represented in the city. Approximately half of the population has been born outside of Canada. Like many, many major cities, it tends to be a very, very welcoming place, but it's one thing they won't want to be this evening is welcoming to Bosnia. There's a good ball down the right-hand side, is once again played in towards the feet of Bajlak, who goes down under the challenge and will win himself a free kick. This time it was Laia who just cut across his man, couldn't quite step in between man and ball. In fact, he's gone out for corner kick instead, and it's whipped in from the corner kick towards the near side, and it's found the back of the net, and Bosnia have the lead. The Dragons breathe fire on opening night. They silence the city. They stun the stage here in Toronto. And the side who were expected to try and make up the numbers this afternoon have taken a lead inside the opening half of this contest. It's Canada 0, Bosnia 1. And it's a beautiful ball from the corner. It looked like it was a foul initially. The referee and the assistant decided against it, that it was going to be a corner kick, that Laia won the ball. And what a difference that's made to those in white. A beautiful ball towards the near post, flicked on by Lukic, and then it's just tucked away a yard out. And Bosnia lead by a goal to 0. And it's Jovo Lukic, the man who tucks it home for Bosnia and Herzegovina. Canada are stunned on home soil. They missed a good opportunity moments before with Jonathan David, the Juventus man, but punished at the other end by Jovo Lukic. It exploded after a poor first Romanian spell to finish as Romania's top scorer and force his way into Barbarez's plans. And what a season he's had, and what a difference he's making for this Bosnian side, leading by a goal to 0, and they almost find themselves in behind the Canadian back line once again. De Fougarol managing to win himself a free kick, with Demirovic just breathing down his neck. And the Dragons breathing a momentary bit of fire before they have their hydration break. 3 minutes for both of these two sides to take in the opening half of the first half of their competition campaigns, and it's Bosnia who lead. Jesse Marsh, who is an acolyte of the Ranjik footballing school. He provided Canada with a clear tactical identity since taking charge in May 2024. He draws plenty of experience from his previous experience with clubs that are owned by the same company in New York, Salzburg and in Leipzig. But under Jesse Marsh, Canada have been inspired by that 4-4-2, 4-2-2-2 at almost every possible opportunity. Their pressing movements typically trigger opponents, cycle the ball laterally, and when they win possession, they can transition immediately to lightning quick counter-attacks. But on this occasion, and in this game, they're the side that is being expected to have the attacking possession against Bosnia, with Bosnia doing exactly what a traditional Jesse Marsh side can do, the former Leeds United manager. But at this glorious ground, it is Bosnia who have the lead inside the first half. Top two go through. Best of three also progress. Canada come up against Qatar on the 18th of June in Vancouver, where they are based. Bosnia come up against Switzerland on the same day in Los Angeles. Before then, both of the sides will go into their final group game. Canada against Switzerland and Bosnia against Qatar on the 24th of June. Wherever you are, it may be the 24th. It could well be taking place on the 25th with it being split across the many time zones that Canada and America do have. It does mean that some of the games take place as late as 5 a.m. back home for me in England. So those friends and family watching it from home will certainly be getting up, and if you do end up watching every game of this competition, well, fair play to you. I enjoyed the opening 2 games of the tournament. There's 104 games for your entertainment in this competition, with the expanded tournament going to 48 from 32, which has plenty of games. And I did see a few people before the tournament started saying they didn't really want some of the lesser known sides in the competition, but that's exactly what this tournament means and matters, as we are back underway from the hydration break, with Canada quickly trying to assert themselves, working it down the left hand side, and just taken out off the ball is Laia, and the referee happy with the challenge that came in from Bajrak, and Bosnia will win the throw-in. Jesse Marsh tried to protest. Laia did cut across his man, but I think the referee has got that decision absolutely spot on. He lost his own footing, hoping that he might have a bit of connection with the Bosnian wide man. This ground will host 6 games in Toronto, starting with this fixture. They tend to host Toronto FC and Toronto Argonauts in the MLS and in the CFL. They've transformed the area, they've transformed the ground. Some of the stands on the north and south sides are so high with that scaffolding, as Canada win a free kick over on the far side. Try and take it quickly, but the Argentinian referee brings it back. He wasn't quite ready himself, and just tried to be a little bit sly there, but they'll come back and have a second opportunity to put the ball into the box, and it's a good opportunity for them to test this Bosnian defence. Is whipped in towards the near side, flipped on towards the edge of the area, not quite cleared by Bosnia. Back out towards Miller, slips it down the right hand side. Looks like just about kept on side there, Davis, but David just couldn't quite find the cross back in. Cleared only as far out towards Johnson. Bit of head tennis, sends it back in towards the area, and then just cleared out by Bosnia. Away to the far side of the pitch, and it'll be a throw in, level with the edge of the Bosnian penalty area, but the referee will come off. We'll just come over and just hold the play for a moment, as Muhermovic is just holding on to his stomach and asking the referee to just hold the play. But he is back to his feet and he's ready to get back underway with the game again. No physio being brought on for him. It certainly will have plenty of effects that minute that players will have to go off if the physio does come on, as Canada once again come down the right hand side, trying to find a way back into it as Buchanan gets himself behind the back line. He's going to win a corner kick as well, just playing it in off Kolasinac, who stayed with him. But another corner kick from Canada inside this first half, their third of the evening. Bosnia had just one, and theirs has found a goal. Can Canada find a reply? Played in towards Miller on the edge of the area, taken down, flicked in towards David, can't quite get his cross back across the box once more, but he is going to win a free kick 2 yards off the left hand side of the penalty area. It was Muhermovic who came charging out of the penalty area, just trying to put a little bit of pressure on David, but he had both hands just straight into the middle of the forwards back. As the armband has switched between the Bosnian players, Kolasinac along with the captain, Muhermovic is the Bosnian captain. 27 minutes gone into this game, 2 in the wall, 5 or 6 yards off the byline. Played centrally towards the edge of the penalty area, but then the block shot comes in and out it goes back towards Miller on this left hand side. Tries to turn and wiggle his way free. Got a little bit of support on the near side from the free kick taker, Eustakio. Back in again towards Johnson. Tries to just whip a ball towards the far side of the area once more, but handled as it has been throughout this opening half by Bosnia. routinely. Breaking down the left-hand side is Tahirovic, just taken out off the ball in the middle of the park by Kone. The referee happy with the challenge as Canada come inside the Bosnian half. It's been an interesting opening third to this contest. Canada have certainly been the better side. They've found themselves probing the flanks as they come again with Miller, but he can't quite find the pass back in towards Kone. And out come Bosnia with the ball once more, just trying to control the tempo themselves, and they'll work their way up this near touchline as Demirovic just plays it off the retreating Cornelius, who had made his way up for the free kick moments before, and Bosnia with the throw in right on the halfway line, but it is Canada who have had 60% of the possession inside the opening half an hour. We're bringing you this game from this radio commentary. You can also watch the games. Make sure you are watching via your local network providers, as we will bring you the excellent commentary for the final two-thirds of this game. 14 minutes to go before half-time. Bosnia leading through that Lukic header from a lovely corner kick taken down this near right-hand flank as Bosnia are attacking, but it's Canada who win the throw-in down the left-hand channel again. Level with the edge of the Bosnia penalty area. Miller plays it in towards the middle. Teustakiao comes back in towards Miller, tries to drive past two, but just runs into traffic and can't quite keep hold of the ball. Comes back out towards David, moves himself in towards a bit of space. Play back in towards the area, laid down in towards Oluwase. He can't quite get it back across. It was a Sunday League sort of effort to try and get his foot around it by Oluwase. He lacked confidence on it. He's only got 2 goals in his 24 appearances for the national team. And he just couldn't quite find the pass, but he's found himself inside the box once more, and on this occasion sends it over the top of the bar. It's high, it's wide, and it's not very handsome from the Villarreal front man. He's a late bloomer. Tanny time is what it's known. He's got a huge engine. He presses as hard as he attacks. He has said that Spain has made him smarter, and you can see that in the positions he has just made over the last 60 seconds or so. But on both occasions, finding himself a little bit of space. The first one just trying to get the ball back through that corridor of uncertainty to find a man in red, but couldn't quite find the cross or make a good enough connection on it. And then on the second time, coming over the top, a lovely chest down and turn into the gap. Brought it then onto his left-hand side, a little bit more confident on his left. He just couldn't quite keep his shot down as he just leant back a little bit. There's Canada trying to scramble for the ball deep inside the Bosnia half, but it's cleared out and away by Memic, but straight into the Canadian fans in the stand on the far side of the pitch here. It's Bosnia though that still lead by a goal to nil. 33 minutes gone in this game, and Krepau, who we mentioned earlier, who missed the 2022 tournament for breaking his leg with a game-saving MLS Cup final stop. Did say before the game that keepers can't cut corners. In the irony of a corner undoing the home side inside this first half, but they've won a corner themselves over on the far side of the pitch. They just slowly made their way up the line, and now the big centre halves make their way in towards the box. It's played towards the penalty spot, knocked down towards the edge of the box once more, but it was Bajrak Tedovic who just clears his line into Memic, who has a bit of space on the left-hand side, but Lahir comes racing across to snuff out the danger and just put it into the stand off the Bosnian. The Bosnian wide man, and now for a throw into the home side. It's going exactly as planned for Bosnia. Tall, imposing figures that are the players that come from Balkan sides. Croatia, Serbia, Kosovo, Bosnia, and Montenegro, all housing absolute giants of players. The average height in those countries is around about 6'2". It certainly feels like it when you do visit those absolutely beautiful countries. all right on the coast. Bosnia itself slowly becoming a more touristy part of the world. Croatia had that boost following Game of Thrones and the incredible scenery that was used in that competition, as Miller's dad certainly knows about those areas as he works on the sets of Game of Thrones and Peaky Blinders as an electrician. As Ryan Reynolds has just been shown on the big screen here. 10 minutes to go before half time. It doesn't have to be Hollywood for Bosnia. It just has to be straight to video. Yeah, the job done. And get out. The 3 points and everything intact in this first game. Both of these two sides' competitions. Canada lost their opening games in the previous two iterations they've been involved in, 1-0. And that's the scoreline they're losing here. Miller just trying to find a pass a little bit more central. Good little takedown by Kone under pressure from three Bosnian defenders. His next touch, though, is a little bit too heavy and invites a challenge coming in from Tahirovic, who just about gets hold of the ball and will win a throw-in. As Jonathan David couldn't quite keep it in. That breakthrough goal that came from Lukic, the difference maker inside this first half. There's plenty of exciting games to come in this competition over the next few days or so. We're all very excited for the competition to become a 4-game day for the remainder of the group stages after the 2 games today. USA and Paraguay kicking off 4 hours after this game does finish, but once that is over, it then starts to get very, very exciting. Qatar, Switzerland, Brazil, Morocco, followed by Haiti, Scotland and Australia against Turkey, as Miller once again charging down the left-hand side, and he's looked excellent on the ball and off it as well, and he's won another corner kick. Bosnia making the right decisions defensively, but they can't quite keep Canada from attacking down the flanks. That's where they're having their best run at this Bosnian defence. And Eustachio with the corner kick from this near side, whipped in towards the edge of the box, 6-yard boxes, then knocked back down by Jonathan Davis, but he couldn't quite get the return back across, but it does come off a Bosnian once again, and Kolasinac can't do much apart from just put it out of play, and Canada will have another corner kick from the far side as a bit of a protest came in from David for a moment on a potential handball inside the box on Kolasinac. But on second viewing, he has got his arms out of the way, and it will be a corner kick from the far side of the pitch. The referee happy that there was no handball. 7 minutes to go before half-time. Eustachio with the corner. An outswinger towards the edge of the 6-yard box once again, this time looking for the head of Oluwaseyi. Can't quite find him, and Bosnia clear. And Canada will just retreat back into their own half and all the way back towards Maxime Crepau in his goal away to the right-hand side. Bosnia sitting a little bit further back as this first half starts to peter out towards half-time. Canada with double the amount of passes that Bosnia have had, but we could run through the stats in Canada's favour. But the only one that really matters is the one on that score sheet. But here come Canada once again, racing down the left-hand side and winning another corner kick is Buchanan. Just played it off Memic, who stayed with him all the way down that right-hand channel. It was a lovely ball just to find Buchanan into a little bit of space. Thought for a moment like he was going to try and fade and come back onto his left to put a cross in. Continued to drive towards the byline. But Memic sticking with him like glue and getting the final touches. Eustachio once again with the corner. Once again cleared out by Bosnia. Those outward swinging corners not causing enough trouble on this Bosnian defence inside the opening 40 minutes of this game. Back out towards Kone. Deflected off of Bosnia, and it's just going to work its way out for another corner kick over on the far side of the pitch. And it's the 7th of this first half for the host. And it's their 4th in the last 4 minutes as well. Eustachio makes his way over The big centre halves of Cornelius and Fugaro make their way into the box. This time they decide to come short in towards Buchanan. Back out to Eustaquia. In towards Koenig. Tries to feed it in towards David, can't quite find it. Cleared back out towards the edge of the area. Knocked down inside the box and then just hacked away higher than Bob Marley, but not very far from by the Bosnian defence. Laia just puts it high in towards the edge of the area and it just couldn't quite be brought down by Jonathan David. It was a really difficult attempt from the Juve front man, just looking over the top of his left shoulder, trying to bring it down on his right boot, but just didn't find that sweet connection on it. And it goes through in towards Nikolai Vashili, the St. Pauli goalkeeper, the long-term number one whose father was in the Croatian